My name is Grant Morton. I live in Grand Point, Louisiana, which my physical address is Paulina. Grand Point don't have a zip code. I was born and raised on a farm. I'm a retired banker for 44 years, but I continued to do farming all of my life. And what you're about to see, I went through the process of how we cultivate and grow tobacco, which I think y'all gonna enjoy. It's only grown here in St. James Parish, primarily in the Paulina, Grand Point area. Years ago, the Mississippi River broke, and the settlement of the land, of the soil, came down and settled, and we have a lot of rich soil here in Grand Point and Paulina, and that's what helps the tobacco grow the way it does. You can probably grow it in other locations, but you won't get the quality that you get here in St. James Parish. Again, Perique, as I mentioned, is only grown here in St. James Parish, throughout the whole world. There's other types of tobacco grown throughout the United States, but not Perique. I hope you enjoy the program, and that's it for now. See that styrofoam tray over there? You put dirt in it, and we got a machine I'm gonna show you in the other morning. You drop the seed in every little slot. Just put that on top of the water like that. Time to time to add a little fertilizer, and it grows. It makes beautiful plants. See that lawnmower over there? And it gets so tall, you cut the tobacco plant with the lawnmower right above the heart. That's a heart, just like a tomato. And the leaves get cut, but the leaves are loose sprout. You cannot cut the heart. So if you cut the heart, the plant's not going to grow tall anymore. And but that's done. I'm going to cut with the lawnmower 4 or 5 times. And then we transplant and make the plant a lot bigger, thicker, and healthier. And the roots of this process, you get long roots, beautiful roots. Versus years ago, we used to have a hotbed. Put that in the ground, and you got to go ahead and pull the bigger ones to transplant. Wait 4 or 5 days, come back, pull the big ones. And here, they're all the same size. You pull the whole tree out, put it back to plant, and that's the tobacco. But this is a lot easier. When I first heard about it, Mark Ryan told us about it. I said, a cup of water? That's the way to go. And it saves a lot of time. And you got a hotbed, you got to come out there and cover it when it's cold, uncover it when it's hot. And here, you just put down the sides if it's hot. If it's cold, I run my heater in the back, warm it up. Red Martin, if you go back there, you can see he probably still got some plants in the greenhouse. Film it and look at it. But that's the beginning of the stages of the process of bringing it into tobacco. I'm going to walk to the other corner. See, there's 2 floors here. See all the wires on the first floor, and you got another set of wires on the second floor. I don't know if you can see them, but we got all these nails, and these nails are very old. We use them all the time. And every stalk has to be driven by hand and drive a nail in it, so you can hang it on the wire. All the nails that we got from year to year. After we pull them off, when they're getting ready to put in barrel, we pull these nails off of the stalk and use them year after year. Now some leaves that break off of the plant, we don't want to lose them because we get paid by the pound on your tobacco. In other words, you take the leaves that fall off and break from the plant and put them on here and hang this on the wire, you know. And hung on the wires. We wait 2.5 weeks for it to turn brown, depending on the weather. If it's hot and dry, it dries a little quicker. You get a lot of rain, it might take a few extra days because it doesn't dry as quick. And once that's done, we come in early in the morning and take off all these tobacco plants off of the wires. We put them in wheelbarrows and break all the leaves off. And then you're gonna put a little water. You take the dust off of the tobacco, put them up here, and I run a hose pipe from the back. Put right here. I put a little water, because you need a little water in the tobacco. If not, it'll be too dry. Now once that's done, and like I said, the last 4 or 5 years, you just cut the big end off of the tobacco leaf and put it and tie it in about a pound, pound and a half pack with some string, and goes into those whisker barrels. I'll show you the whisker barrels. This is the press. That's 2 barrels right here. That's both barrels. It's upside down. Once you put this tobacco in here, when it's full, it holds 500 pounds of tobacco. And once it's all done, we finish probably in August with the harvesting. Probably in November and December, we come back, we're gonna pull all this tobacco out of the barrel and air it out, turn it. That's the process of curing it, and give it some air and put it back in the barrel. Normally, we normally put 4 or 5 charges. Charges, like we fill it up, you jack it down with a railroad jack for the first 3 or 4 charges. Then you see the screw jacks back there. That's what we normally finalize the last charge with the screw jack. That's a railroad jack right here. But the barrel, empty barrel, weighs about 100 pounds, give or take. And once the tobacco is full, it's 500. So when it's ready to be shipped, to the one who buys it, is give or take 600 pounds with the weight of the barrel and the tobacco. Now this is the wagon that we normally hook to our tractors to load the tobacco out of the field and load it on here, and we dump it on the cement slab and start the process of putting the nail in the stalk, hanging them on the wires. We normally do the bottom floor first. We wait maybe a week or so after, because as it's hanging in the barn, the leaves wilt more, and then we put them on the second floor. There's a second floor with wires up there. I say today there's about a dozen or so farmers that still plant Perique. Years ago, when my dad was growing and so forth, even the sugarcane farmers planted tobacco as a side crop. Just about everybody that grew up in Grand Point, Paulina area, their dad grew tobacco, and growing up as a young boy, everybody helped with the parents bringing in the tobacco. My dad had an old saying. He said, you need a weak mind and a strong back to work in tobacco. But it's labor intense, you know, but years ago, you know, it was a family crop. All the aunts and uncles and the children, grandchildren sometimes helped to raise and harvest the crop. But today, you know, the work is still hard. And those young boys, they don't want to work like we did when we grew up. But it's in my blood. I've been doing that since I was a little kid. I'll be 71 this year. And I said it's time to give it up. But I still plant my winter crops with the greens. But tobacco, I'm not going to do that anymore. But I'll miss it. Because I guess you can see it's in my blood, and I did that most of my life. And you know, Perique is a very unique crop, and it's only grown here in St. James Parish. You know, you probably can grow it in other areas, but the quality of your tobacco won't be the same. It's the soil that we have here in St. James Parish that makes the tobacco the way it turns out so nice. And back to the screw jacks with those barrels, you got to keep constant pressure on those barrels with the screw jacks, and that helps cure and the tobacco, help it cure it by keeping constant pressure on it. Every week, 2 weeks, you come by there and you tighten up on the jack to make sure you got constant pressure on that. Now you can keep tobacco in those barrels for years and years and years and years and it won't go bad, as long as you got that pressure on it. But like I said, it's a very interesting crop over the years. We always had visitors, tourists that come here and from different countries, and a lot of them French. My dad spoke French and used to talk back and forth in French, which I know a little bit of French, but not like he did. And everybody was amazed about it, very interested in learning the process of growing the Perique tobacco.
I'm making breakfast sandwich, and I use fried eggs and sliced turkey and cheese. But my secret, I don't know, do I have to tell secret? But this is one of the popular breakfasts here. So, yeah, I always have to grill because
I'm Sean Roussel, President of the Board of the River Parish Community Theater.
And I'm Darryl Clement. I'm the Artistic Director of River Parish Community Theater.
So we revived St. James Community Theater in 2015 after a period of inactivity. And in the last 6 years, we're proud to say that we've been putting on some very successful musicals. We've instituted a Christmas concert, and we've had other events in the community that have just helped bring arts to our area.
When we first restarted St. James Community Theater, we started off with Addams Family, which was a huge hit in our area. And we're very proud to say that of the last 5 shows that we've done, three have been River Parish premieres of shows that have not been done in this area.
And some of the other shows we did were Shrek and Annie, and we did Beauty and the Beast, Mary Poppins. And this summer we're very excited, after a 1-year hiatus, to be bringing Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella to the stage. So with that, we'd like to invite everyone watching to tell their friends and family and to come to see Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella July 16th through 18th and 21st through 24th at St. Peter's School in Reserve. You can get all the details at our website, www.riverparishtheater.org. That's River Parish Theater, R-E, not E-R, R-E.org.
And with the talent we have in this show, it's sure to be one of our best. Come and see us.
Super, fragilistic, expialidocious. That's not a word. Of course it's a word. And unless I'm very much mistaken, I think it's going to prove a rather useful one. When trying to express oneself is frankly quite absurd to leave through lengthy lexicons to find the perfect word. A little spontaneity keeps conversation keen. You need to find a way to say precisely what you mean. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. But it doesn't mean anything. It means precisely what you want. What's the rate and what charging simply printed with the rise?
Now if they heard this word, they might have used it once or twice.
That's why I'm sure Egyptian pharaohs would have roughed it and a chip. Then every single pyramid would bear this hieroglyph. Oh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Fish and wild animals were not and some further flourishes in surreal kosher. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'm gonna live a little longer life. I'm gonna live a little longer life. I'm gonna live a little longer life. I'm gonna live a little longer life.
Ruins couldn't solve it on their mighty monolith.
The ancient Greeks, I'm certain, would have used it in their myths. I'm sure the Roman Empire reveling entity of this, because the Latin scholar never had a word like this. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. If you say it softly, the effect
Yes, to me, an experience. You know, I've lived on this bayou my whole life, so I've tasted different fish from here and there, and our fish has always tasted better to me. And you know, not from my own experience, but I've also cooked a lot of fish for people from out of state, from different states, all around the country, and even out of the world. And they'll come and they'll say, you know, man, this is the best catfish we've ever ate. I've eaten catfish here, there. You know, why is it so good? Is it the way I cooked it, or is it the way is it the water the fish is coming out of? Well, to me, it's a combination of both. But you know, it really is where the fish are coming from. This area it's known for the quality of the fish.
What's great about this fish is it's a natural fish and a natural tidal body, so it's a nice, clean, fresh type of fish. You'll notice a little yellow tint to it. It's a very sustainable fish. People have been harvesting it in the bayous and the swamps of the salmon's been the last couple 100 years.
Like I said, that's two of my fishermen right across right there. They got a couple down this side, they got a couple back there. I would say percentage-wise, 1 out of every 10 houses. Maybe the salmon, 1 out of every 10, maybe a little less, maybe 1 out of 15.
So growing up in River Parish area for the last 40-some years, my grandmother taught me a lot. She was actually born on the river in Vacherie, and just learning about the abundance of the natural resources of the shrimp, the crab meat, the crawfish, the catfish, the alligator, turtles. We eat it all here, and it's a natural product that is, we call it sweet water. It's a combination of between brackish and fresh water, and to me it produces some of the best seafood that I've tasted anywheres.
A lot of the families fish. As a family, they'll fish. They'll fish. The kids will help them run the boats in the summer when they're off of school. The kids go on the weekends with them. You're supporting like a lifestyle, like you're supporting like a tradition. Almost any commercial fisherman, you gotta have a lot of Cajun in you, and you gotta be adapt to your surroundings, to the water. You gotta be a waterman. You gotta know that water, just like you know in the roads, or like a taxi cab driver knows roads through New Orleans. You know, you gotta know the roads of the bayou and where it's too shallow to pass, or where they got obstructions at, and you gotta know how to travel at night with no lights and in the fog.
I enjoy it. I really do. You know, I enjoy catfishing. It means to me freedom. To be my own boss and to kind of do what I want to do. You know, you got don't get me wrong, it's not easy. You got to go out there and make it yourself. You know, you can't just go out there and be lazy. But it's something I love to do. It's something I was raised doing. It's something I'm going to die doing. You know, most of my children I've raised and they're in college. They're doing different things, but I'm hoping on a grandchild to teach and take over what I'm doing, something like that.
It's a pretty hard job for these guys, and they deal with the elements, the weather, cold, thunderstorms, storms, themselves, hurricanes. It's not an easy job. And you gotta realize some days when they go out there and they throw cages, they throw their crab traps, or they go move cages, they don't get paid that day, they lose money. They pay for decking, they pay for gas, they pay for all the stuff, and they don't catch nothing. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got nothing to come and sell.
The best thing to do when you do go to a restaurant in Louisiana is you can either ask or you can look on the menu, and most will tell you, it will say the Zalman's catfish, or it'll say pond catfish, or you know, and if you can try to ask for or go to restaurants that serve wild caught catfish, it helps out the last fishermen that we have, you know, which we're, you know, like I said, we're dying out slowly, but we still got a few of us left here, and you know, we want to stay if we can. And you know, it also takes help from the people to buy our produce to keep us going. So yes, definitely look for fresh Salmon's catfish fillet on the menu, and go to those places and eat there, and it'll help us out.